Toronto. It's 5:19 a.m. on Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. I'm your host, Miss BollywooD. It's been quite some time, I think just about a year since I last did a podcast, and I gotta admit, I've been missing it a whole lot, but for those of you that know me personally are aware that I have a whirlwind of things going on, especially the fact that I am getting married next year. Fingers are crossed based off of the events happening right now worldwide. Let's hope it's possible. So now that I've got you up to speed, let's hit you guys with the forecast for today, okay? Currently, it's 5 degrees, but we'll be warming up to a high of 11. We will be also getting some clouds with sunny breaks in between. And spring seems to be in full bloom, and from the inside of the house, looks pretty darn gorgeous. But with the sequential events happening worldwide right now as we speak, we have been advised to remain indoors and simply admire nature's beauty from afar. I agree, it totally sucks right now, but I do believe if we do our part, this will pass much sooner. But if we choose to be badasses, you all know who you are. Well then, prepare yourselves for an extended version of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Kind of vibes. And I'm sure many of you who fell asleep time and time again trying your best to get through the films failed miserably. Well, this is exactly what it's going to feel like if you do not listen to what doctors and the news and healthcare professionals are trying to tell you. Anyways, moving on, you may know that I created Wake Up Toronto to bring you the latest in breaking news, entertainment, opinion pieces, and live guests. But as of right now, all there is playing on your television screens 24/7 is updates on the COVID-19 cases and anything else remotely related to it. And in order for you to escape those horrid numbers and negativity is to distract yourselves with other activities such as Netflixing and chilling. Okay, not so much chilling, and I'm doing this in air quotes for my adults out there because I'm suggesting adult themes. For my ladies out there, and this is also applicable to men too. Let's just face it, our beauty technicians are not available to take care of our eyebrows, waxing, facials, and other aesthetics that we probably visit them on a weekly basis. And we want to really focus on our appearances and when we're trying to get, some action. And let's be real, okay? How many of you want to put in that effort yourself? Maybe sometimes, but not usually. I think we enjoy that process of getting pampered. And I can raise my hand and say, well, during the next little while, I am willing to ride out my winter unshaved legs as long as I can because I pretty much have nowhere else to go other than work and coming home. So I'm pretty sure, and I think it's safe to say that my fiance Av and I are having a friendly competition of who can grow the thickest mustache by the end of the month. Right now, he's losing, okay? And it's ridiculous, but it's the truth. I could take a photo right now and you guys will be shocked. So back to what I was saying about the Wake Up Toronto podcast was that instead of bringing you more depressing news, I sort of wanted to combine it into a takeaway positive piece of advice. I decided to combine my Wise Wednesday quotes, the ones that I quote myself hoping I'll be some kind of historical figure with a legacy remembered for their beautiful words. So I wanted to use these quotes as a topic for discussion and expand on it. Hopefully it resonates with you, and if not, that's cool too. Maybe next time. Let's get into it, shall we? This week's Wise Wednesday was inspired by the movie Groundhog Day starring Bill Murray. If you haven't watched this classic, then you may not get the references, so do me a favor, pause this podcast and watch it, then come back and continue. Plus, there is tons of spoilers ahead, so if you're down for that, then keep listening, homies. Basically, the synopsis is Phil Connors is a weather reporter who visits this small town each year to report if the groundhog has seen its shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter, and if it doesn't, then it will be an early spring. As a journalist, I would think a segment like this would be fun to present to the audience watching at home, but not Phil Connors. He's all bah humbug about it. In fact, he is so rude to others that a spontaneous blizzard is headed their way, which causes Phil to stay the night in the town. He thinks it will be done and he'll be leaving the next day once the storm passes, but his predictions are super wrong because he wakes up the next day with the alarm clock going off and the same song by Cher and Sunny playing I Got You Babe, which actually also happened the very first day he woke up in town. From that moment on, Phil's day is on a constant repeat of February 2nd until he learns how to get himself out of it. Is that a good enough synopsis for you? I mean, like, the movie itself is worth seeing. It's super funny, but also a great testament on how being good and helping others takes very little effort, and it's possible to make a lasting impact on their lives. And now for the Wise Wednesday quote. Quote, "Don't be the OG Phil Connors from Groundhog Day. Chances are you may never get to see past February 2nd and will realize real quick that you've got no one, babe." End quote. See what I did there? I love when I'm just watching something and randomly get inspired to create something new. It's such an awesome feeling. Now, to expand on this quote a little further, amidst the ongoing issues happening in our world at this exact moment, I can still see those Phil Connors out there, the hard-headed people who do not comply with rules or requests to stay indoors. I see the ignorant ones hanging out in groups, the selfish ones in grocery stores hoarding supplies, the ungrateful ones that refuse to understand the magnitude of people dying or the amount of people working in all levels of healthcare to the customer service roles. These individuals are running low on energy, most likely haven't slept or eaten in many days, but still are putting their lives at risk to take care of both the sick and the well. No matter how much we cry, shout, or post on social media to raise awareness, there is this clear divide. These people remain to portray the personality of Phil Connors. It's as if nothing can change that. What is so pathetic is that, unlike this fictional film, Phil Connors' character eventually is able to make it to February 3rd, and the only reason he did was because of working hard to not be an egotistical, self-centered, know-it-all kind of guy. With all the trial and errors, he turned into a humble, appreciative, and giving person. Something we all should be practicing on the daily, not just during the time of a pandemic. But the reality is that very few are taking this opportunity to evolve and commit to change, let alone even adapting to it. Yes, it's not fun being told what to do, and yes, self-isolation and social distancing can affect your mental health. Yes, the fear of school and not graduating is very much present, but there are avenues to work around that too. Texting, calling, FaceTiming, Skyping, WhatsApp, and many more other methods are possible ways to communicate with near and dear ones when we can't physically connect. There are helplines open and a support person on the other end ready to hear your stories and problems. There are email communications, tutors, online group studies that you can join to continue learning. For those who work for someone, why not for once take this moment to start something you've always wanted to do or delve back into something you've enjoyed doing? For those who are their own bosses, why not take the same focus you take in with you to the workplace and apply it to a new project or again, experience something you've always wanted to do? Of course, within reason and of course at home. Time is on our side, Utilize it. For those of you who may be working from home, it doesn't mean that you can't take a break from your busy schedule and set a few hours aside for yourself. For me, during this trying time, it's been pretty difficult to stomach the amount of global deaths, I love people, so to constantly hear the numbers increase has really affected my sleep and emotional being. I try to meditate to keep a clear mind and spirit, but I also pray for the lives lost. That's what being human is. You care for others. I haven't really been posting very much new content on my social media channels because I just needed to step back and cope with all that is happening around me. I couldn't hop onto my Insta stories and say, "What's up?" because I was just making sure everyone I loved was okay. My inner protector also comes out for my grandparents and being hopeful and happy they're still here with me. In my previous #series podcast, I mentioned how crucial it is to treat others with kindness and to let those around you know how much you love them. Be annoying about it, I said, because we are only here on this earth for so long. Waiting until the end of their journey is just a way to set yourself up for regret. Do it now. If we let our arrogance get the best of us, we will be forever stuck in the same scenario as Phil Connors. And come on, that is not hella fun. I get it. Habits are definitely hard to break, but start somewhere, because if you don't, less and less people will gravitate towards you. You will legit feel like Britney Spears and shouting out loud, "My loneliness is killing me." But real talks though, we are all somewhat needy. We have to have that wingman or best friend, sister, brother, mother, father, confidant figures a part of our lives, because they're the ones who will get us through the darkest times like we are in right now. And obviously it's a given. Be right there during the good times. I also urge all of you, if you are aware that there is someone who has nobody to turn to at this time, particularly the older generation, please reach out and check up on them. That is my 2 cents on this topic. I'm now opening up the floor to you guys to comment, discuss, and leave your stories below. I had a pretty good time talking to you all today, so tune in next Wednesday for another collaborative piece of Wise Wednesday meets Wake Up Toronto episodes. In the meantime, stay safe and blessed. Much love from me to you. Mwah. Miss Bollywood, out.